So let's get into our seated position. Sitting up on a blanket or a block if that feels good in your hips. And we'll start to settle in. Just start to feel your just kind of notice your external environment. Just notice what's going on around you externally, any noises you might hear, any sensations on your skin temperature or breath, breeze, or just notice what's going on. And then we'll explore internally as well. How are you feeling internally? Just noticing any just anything that might be kind of bugging you. Any feelings, emotions, or physical even, any aches or pains. But without judgment, we're just kind of noticing how that all feels. Or maybe you're feeling great. You notice that too. As we were saying, a lot of us felt this big weight lifted off of our shoulders, and we might be feeling that today. Yoga helps us do that anyway. And let's just continue to explore, and we'll follow our breath in and out. So let's take a breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And take your shoulders up to your ears. Take the shoulders back and then just let them float down away from the ears. And as you're sitting with your legs crossed, hold on to your knees. And then we're just going to gently pull on the knees and feel the chest open a little bit more. So the shoulders will fall back and down even more. Crown of the head is rising up. As the tailbone just kind of presses into your mat. And as you do that, you're going to feel your spine lengthen right here. Just sitting here as we go through these few movements, we start to lengthen already, just opening up the spine. Let's take another deep breath in. And let that go. Now let's take a breath into the count of 5. Let's hold it for 5. Exhale for 5. Hold it down at the bottom. And let's do that again. Big breath in, fill it up. Feel the belly and the chest rise. Hold it. Exhale, empty it out. And as you empty it out, feel the navel gently drawing in toward the spine, kind of drawing the abdominals in. Hold it. And let's do that one more time. Inhale. Hold it here. Exhale. Hold it again at the bottom. Feel the navel drawing in. Feel the abdominals engaging. And then just let your breath flow in and out naturally. Okay, so let's do a little upper body first, and then we're gonna work on our lower back this morning. So let's just open up the upper body. Let's get our get your strap up. Just put it aside for right now. We'll stay seated here. We're gonna take our chin into our chest. Take the shoulder blades down and back. And if you want to, you can place your hands on your head and feel that deep stretch in the back of your neck. So you can do this whether you're sitting on your mat or even sitting in a chair. So anytime this is available to you, just to open the neck. And then we'll release that. And we'll start to take our chin up toward the sky and take our collarbones toward the floor. And just be gentle here. You can let your head fall all the way back if that's available to you. Just go where you can go. Just kind of notice your range of motion without judgment. And then bring your chin back parallel to the floor. And we're going to carefully look over our right shoulder. Keep the shoulder blades floating back and down. And again, notice here, just don't force it. Because if you do force it, you may leave the class with a little like pinch in the neck. So just kind of go where you can go, especially we're just getting started. And then bring your chin back to center and we'll look over the left shoulder. And again, ease into it. I took Dan's class last Sunday and I liked it. He said, take your right temple towards your left temple. And I liked that cue. I've never heard that before. Take your right temple towards your left temple. So it's a little bit more controlling of the movement. And then bring your head back to center. Dan, for those of you who are not from the Tennis and Racket Club, he teaches at the Tennis and Racket Club. Let's take our right ear back to our right shoulder. Now we're going to take our head toward the front of the room until our left ear and left shoulder meet. And then just go back in the opposite direction. And take your time. Just go at your own pace. And then the next time an ear and a shoulder meet, stay right there. Now we're going to go toward the back of our mat. So just be gentle here. This direction's probably a little tighter. Maybe talking to you, right? It might be telling you some things. Mine definitely does. I feel it here. There's some constrictions. I hear noises. There's definitely one particular space that's a little tighter than the rest. So just if you find that, let your head hang there. Breathe into it. And then move on. If you find another one, same thing. Just let your head hang in that spot. Kind of breathe into it. Massage it out. And then move on. Let's go a couple more times from one shoulder to the other. And then when an ear meets a shoulder, stay there. Carefully, slowly bring your head up. And just sit here for a breath or two and notice how this feels. It's starting to wake up, open up the neck, the shoulders. Oh, everyone's here now. Hello. I didn't think, everyone's home today, so I didn't think she'd make an appearance, but apparently she did. All right, we're gonna walk our right hand over to the right. Maybe use a block. Then we're gonna lift up the left arm and reach it over. Press down with the left sit bone. Oh dear. Just try to keep the left shoulder over the right. We're pressing away with that left sit bone. So we're feeling this. It's a side body stretch. And then bring that arm up carefully. And we'll switch sides. So now we're going to walk the left hand over. And then we're going to reach the right arm up and then over. And just kind of notice one side from the other. Press down with your right sit bone. And then reach through your right fingertips. Lily brought her palm tree in. And then come up. All right, now we're going to go back over to the right. We're going to take our right hand out. We're going to take our right ear to our right shoulder. And then we're going to take the left arm out to the left. And then back and down. So the target area is right here up in the upper trapezius. So you're going to move your arm around a little bit until you find that sweet spot in that place. And then just gently let the ear draw toward the shoulder. Again, we still want to keep this left sit bone pressing down. So our hips stay square. So if you do feel like you're tipping over, that's where the block would come in. Stay here for a couple more breaths. And then we'll take our right hand onto our right ear, slowly, carefully bring your head up. Just sit here and notice the left from the right. All right, other side. Left ear toward the left shoulder. We'll walk the left hand out. Use a block if you have to. And then we'll take the right arm out. Back, down toward the floor. Somewhere around there, it's usually to find that spot right here up in the upper neck, the upper trap. And as you breathe into it, maybe you can take your ear towards your shoulder a little bit more. Just getting into the tissue, the muscle. Opening up the neck in all directions and the shoulders. And then we'll take our left hand onto our left ear and slowly, carefully bring your head up. And again, just sit here and notice the left and the right, just how that all feels. Let's get our strap. We're going to take the strap out in front. Mine's long, so I'm going to fold it in half. Take your strap out in front of your shoulders to start. Now float the shoulder blades back and down, lift the chest. And then we'll reach the arms up and overhead. If you need to take your arms a little bit wider, go ahead. Lift the chest. Pull on the strap. Pull to the right, pull to the left. Lift the chest. Shoulders just float back and down. And then bring your arms back down. Take a breath here. Notice how that feels. All right, let's do that again. Bring arms out in front. Now we're going to take them a little wider, probably a lot wider. So we bring them up, and then we'll take them back. So this is where you need some length so you can get your arms straight. So if you need to unfold it, go ahead. And then we'll just add that rotation. So just go at your own pace. Up and back. And up and back. Now we'll take the right hand behind, the left hand in front. Keep going. And then the left hand behind and the right hand in front. All right, so let's just go ahead and put the strap back in front. Leave it here. And we're going to come onto our hands and knees. And there's a couple options here. We're going to take let's take the left, I'm not going to mirror you on this one. Take the right knee in front of the left. Right knee in front of the left. And then you can sit back on a blanket or a block. I'm going to sit on a block. So we want the knees stacked. Now, if this is really challenging for your knees, you can bring your foot out in front or just take you can even take the bottom leg straight and have the right leg here. Otherwise, we're in Gomukhasana legs. So just do what you can do here. We do this a lot on our back. It's a little bit more challenging sitting up. And just sit here for a few breaths. Sit up nice and tall. You can tense your fingers on the mat, lift the chest. I'm just gonna notice we're getting into the abductors and we're doing internal rotation here. Lift the chest. Stay here for just another breath. And then we're gonna come forward. So we're gonna switch sides. So now the left knee is gonna come in front. And again, you can sit on a blanket or a block or a pillow or a bolster. And you may feel one side is a little bit different than the other. I definitely do on this side. And again, hands can just come on the mat. I'm just gonna lift the chest. Don't be afraid to just uncross if you need to. If this is too hard on your knees or your hips. The target area is right over here in the left hip. You should be feeling it the most, but both hips really, because we're in a cross-legged position. Lift the chest. All right, let's come out of this. And let's just take our legs straight right now. You can still sit up on your blanket or your block. Take your hands by your sides, tent your fingers. Press through your heels so your toes are drawing toward your shins. And then press your fingers into your mat, lift your chest for Dandasana. The gaze is just down your nose. So you're just kind of gently looking down. It's kind of straight ahead, but down our nose. So it's a soft gaze. So the chin stays parallel to the floor. Shoulders back and down. And then release. We're going to do Gomukhasana legs again. So now we're going to come forward and take the right knee on top of the left. And then we're going to sit back again. So again, abduction and internal rotation of the legs. Now we're going to get our strap. So we're going to take, now the right knee's on top. We're going to take the strap around the left wrist and inhale, reach the arm up, bend at the elbow. You can help it along if you need to get it, the elbow a little bit closer to your ear. And then we'll take the right arm out and we're going to reach around behind us and find our strap. Keep the chest lifted. Carefully pull down with the bottom hand and up with the top. And don't worry so much about bringing your hands toward each other. This is really just about taking a hold of your strap, opening up the chest. We don't need to worry so much about finding our fingers. If you are super open and that works for you, go for it. But otherwise, don't worry about it. My hands are nowhere near each other. And then carefully come on out. And come back onto our knees and we're going to take the left knee in front. We've done this a couple times now, so you know where to go. We're going to sit back. Do what you can. Find your place here. And then we're going to take the strap over the right wrist. Reach the arm up. Yes, so you were way ahead of me. That's fine. You know where to go. Bend the elbow. We'll take the left arm out and then reach down, find your strap. And then just gently pull down and pull up. Lift the chest. Breathe deeply. I'm just going to notice how this feels one side over the other. Pull down, pull up. And then let's come on out, put the strap aside, come back onto your hands and knees. Or actually, let's just take our legs forward. We'll come back into Dandasana. So if you just joined, welcome. Make sure that you mute yourself, because I think that that doesn't happen when you join later. All right, so let's come into Dandasana. Lift the chest. Press your fingertips into the mat. Draw the shoulder blades back. And then if that feels good, you might want to reach your arms up and overhead. Take the little belly in and up. Float the shoulder blades down. And it's okay to take your arms a little wider, just depending on what your shoulders are able to do today. Take the toes toward the shins, so really engage the legs. So we're trying to even here get that internal rotation of the inner thighs. And then come on down. And we're gonna come onto our backs. So just make your way to your back, onto your back, get your strap, keep a blanket or a block nearby. And then we're just gonna lie down. Reach your arms overhead. Take your heels toward the edge of your mat and flex your toes towards your shins, just like we were doing in Dandasana. Hook your thumbs together. We're gonna inhale. And as we exhale, press through the fingertips, press through your heels, draw your navel in and up. Inhale, just let everything go. Now hook your thumbs the other way. Inhale here. Exhale, press and reach. Inhale, switch the thumbs. Exhale, press and reach. One more time. Inhale, switch your thumb grip. Exhale. Feel the full body stretch. Feel the sides lengthening, pressing through the heels, reaching through your fingers. And then inhale, just let everything go. We'll bring our hands down by our hips. Then the right knee, we're gonna hug it in. Take your left hand onto your right knee and take the knee over to the left and take the right arm out to the side. Now, even here, we're gonna press through the left heel, although the toes are splaying over to the left, so we don't have to worry so much about flexing our foot. But you can flex your foot. It's just a little different feeling because the toes are splaying over to the left. Inhale, exhale, deepen your twist. Inhale, lengthen, press through that left heel. Exhale, twist. And then bring your knee up, and we'll float that foot to the edge of your mat. Other side, hug the left knee up. Right hand will come on your knee. We're going to twist over to the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Press through your right heel. Exhale. Deep twist through the spine. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then bring your knee up. And let that foot glide to the edge of your mat. And now we'll go with our breath. Inhale the right knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, release. Inhale, left knee up. Exhale, twist. Bring it up on your inhale and let the foot glide. One more time. Inhale, right knee up. Exhale, twist. Bring it up. Exhale, release. Left knee comes up on the in-breath. We twist on the exhalation. Inhale, bring it up. And exhale again, let that foot glide. And just stay here for a breath. All right, now let's take the right knee back up and clasp around your shin. You can flex both feet. The left toes are pointing towards your shin. The right toes are pointing towards your shin. Or I should say flexing towards your shin. And then we'll take our forehead toward our knee. If that works for your neck, If it doesn't, keep your shoulders down. Press through the left heel, hug this in. And then let go. Other side, left knee's gonna come up on your exhale. We're gonna take our forehead to our knee, if that's in your practice this morning. We're gonna press through the right heel, hug the left knee in. And then release. And we'll continue going with our breath. Exhale, right knee up, hug it in. Inhale, release. Exhale, left knee comes up. And release. One more time each side. Exhale, right knee up. And release. And the left knee is going to come up. And then we're going to release. And just stay here again. All right, let's get our strap. We're going to take the strap, bend the right knee. Take the strap around the right heel. Extend the left leg long. And you can loop the strap around your hands, or you can make your loop if you want. We're going to flex our toes toward our shin, and then lock the shoulders down so you're lifting your chest. And we're pulling down on the strap, so it's kind of right above the heel. And you're pulling down on the strap and pressing into the strap with your right heel. Then we take that right thigh bone away from our chin. Keep the chest lifted. Breathe here. Right thigh bone presses away. And the low belly draws up. We want to feel this in behind the knees. So you want to make sure that you're getting this stretch in your hamstrings. So if your knee is bent, take your leg a little closer toward a wall, or I guess further away from you, depends if the wall's there. So a little further away from you. So you're feeling that in the hamstrings. All right, now take both ends of the strap into your left hand. We're going to keep the right heel over our right hip. We're going to take our right thumb into our right hip crease and press. Now we're going to help it. So when I say press your right thigh bone away, this is actually what we're doing. We're taking the right thigh bone away from our chin, and the low belly draws in and up. That left leg stays active. So then that left inner thigh rotating down toward the mat. So the left pinky toe is pointing up. I think that's kind of a good cue. If you can focus on that, that gets that internal rotation. Press that right thigh away. And then let's bend the knee, remove the strap, we'll switch sides. So we'll take the left knee up, the strap comes around the left heel. And right leg goes long. And then we can take a hold of our straps, however you like. I like to loop. I've just always done it that way, but if it's comfortable for you, just hold on your strap, or you'd like to make the loop like we've been doing sometimes this year, feel free to do that. All right, flexing both feet, pressing through both heels. Lock the shoulders down. So the arms are straight, chest is lifted. And then isometrically take the left thigh bone away. So right now that thumb's not there. So see how that feels without the thumb there, right? We're taking that thigh bone isometrically away from our nose or our chin. And then we draw the navel in and up. And we'll continue to breathe. Lift the chest. Press your heel into the strap. Pull the strap down into your heel. So you kind of feel that dynamic energy there. And then now let's take both ends of the strap into the right hand. Keep the heel over the hip. The left heel is going to stay over the hip. We're going to take our left thumb into our left hip crease. And now we're going to help take that left thigh bone away from our chin. Flex your feet. Low belly draws in and up. And that right pinky toe points up toward the sky. So we don't want that right foot splaying out. We want the toes pointing straight up. And the right inner thigh rotating down toward the mat. And let's release. Take that leg long. All right, adding on. Let's take the strap around the right heel again. Left leg goes long. We're going to take both ends back into the left hand. Right thumb is going to come into the right hip crease. Now this time we're going to flex both feet, and then we're going to take our right heel over just in line with our left shoulder for now. Okay, so we want that left heel and left shoulder in line with each other. We're just crossing across our body. The right thumb stays in the hip crease, and we continue to push the right leg away, the right thigh bone, creating traction in the hip. And then the low belly draws up toward the chin. Lift the chest. Try to lock that left shoulder down. Breathe here. Nice deep breaths. So we're going to take this a little bit farther. If that doesn't work for you today, you can stay right here. Otherwise, we'll take our right arm out to the right. You're going to turn your palm down to kind of help support you here. And then we're going to carefully take the right leg over to the left. So we're going to go deep into this outer edge of our leg, the IT area, getting into the glutes a little bit. So just control, go where you, that's why the strap's here. We can really control where we go. You can always put a blanket or a block, maybe not so much a blanket, but a block to support your leg. If it doesn't get close enough, that right hip pops way up. And then notice what's going on here. Lots of sensation. Don't worry so much about the left leg right now. In this pose, it's gonna splay out. That's fine. One more breath. And next breath, inhale. Exhale, bring the leg up. And carefully remove your strap and take your leg long. And just notice your right leg from your left leg. All right, other side. Take it around the strap around the left heel. I see a lot of, I take a lot of different classes, and a lot of people say to put the strap on the ball of the foot, but my teacher says the heel, so that's what I'm doing. She's a physical therapist. She's my teacher, Rachel. And so that's why I say, you might see people say ball of the foot, but that's why I do heel, because that's what Rachel does. And I actually kind of like it myself. All right, both ends of the strap into our right hand. And we're going to take our left thumb into our left hip crease, and we're going to carefully take the left heel in line with our right shoulder. We're using that left thumb to push the left thigh away. Right foot is now, right leg is active, right foot flexing toward the knee. Low belly draws in and up. So right now that left leg is super active. We're rotating the inner thigh toward the mat, the right pinky toes pointing up. And we try to lock that right shoulder down, keep the chest lifted. As we're pushing that left thigh bone away. And then you can stay here, or if you want to try to take this a little bit farther, we're going to take the left arm out to the left and carefully take our left leg over to the right. And just kind of notice how this feels, how it feels compared to the other leg. What's going on here? A little different, quite a bit of different sensation, right? Because we're really getting into the IT area, which is the outer edge of your leg. We're getting into the glutes. I really feel this in the calf muscle here. More so on this side than I did on the other. So you might, just kind of notice what's going on. And just do what you can do. Don't force anything. Inhale. Exhale, bring the leg all the way up. And then remove your strap, take your leg long. Again, just kind of notice the right from the left. All right, now we're going to take the strap back around the right heel. The left leg is long, the left leg is active. We'll take the right leg over our hip, And now we're going to take our left hand and place it on our left hip bone. So this is to remind us that we want to keep this left hip from popping up. Both feet are flexed. Lift the chest. Pull that right shoulder down. Inhale. And on your exhale, oh, I forgot to do this. You can put a blanket or a block underneath your right hip. And then when you exhale, lower your right leg out to the right. So the outer edge of your right foot is parallel to the floor. Left leg is active. You can even pull a little bit on the strap here. Flex both feet. Lift the chest. Adductors. Inner thigh. Big opening here. I would say this one feels good, or it should feel good. This one feels good for me, but it may not for some of you. I mean, just again, it just depends on what goes on in our body. So while I may like this one, somebody may hate it. So do what you need to do to stay in the pose for a couple more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, use your core, bring your leg up. Then let's remove the straps on that leg long. Bring your blanket to the other side, or a block, or a pillow. And then we'll take the strap around the left heel. Both ends in the left hand. Right leg goes long and active. Pinky toe toward the sky, that right inner thigh toward the floor. And then we're going to lift the chest. Inhale here. Right hand on our right hip bone to hold that down. And we'll lower the leg out to the left. Lift the chest. Press into your strap. Pull the strap. Right pinky toe points up. Flexing both feet. There's a lot to remember in these simple poses, right? A lot going on. Come back to the breath. Two more deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale, strong core. Bring your leg up. And remove the strap. Take that leg long. You can move your stuff aside for right now. And just kind of, again, notice how your legs feel. Let's bend the right knee. We'll take the right foot over to the right. The left knee should be bent as well. So we're taking the right knee in toward our left foot. And then we check in here. Maybe take your left foot onto your right thigh. That right hip will pop up. And then we'll check our alignment. So the right knee comes in line with the right shoulder. And now we're going still a lot of internal rotation. Today, this is even more internal rotation of the legs. We're really feeling this one. If this is okay, stay here, or you can add on by taking the right arm overhead and taking a hold of your wrist with your left thumb and forefinger. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, just release. Draw the navel in and up. Inhale, lengthen. So really feeling this through the quadricep, right? That's kind of the big muscle right here, and then up through the psoas. And then when we take the arm overhead, we get the upper attachment of the psoas that attaches, initiates right at the base of at this top of the lumbar spine, the base of the thoracic. And then let's release and come out. Both knees pointing up. We'll slide the left foot over. Left knee drops in toward the right foot. Check in here. Maybe you can take your right foot onto your left thigh. Again, now check in. The left hip will pop up a lot, probably. In an internal rotation. of the inner thigh. You can keep your hands on your belly, or if you want, you can take the left arm overhead. Take a hold of the wrist. Take the low belly in and up. Keep the chest lifted. And then we'll bring the hands down. Bring your feet back on the floor. And we'll do external rotation. So we'll let the right knee drop over to the right, and then tuck the right foot behind your left heel. So that's our external rotation of this right hip. So you can stay right here and work on this, or maybe take your left, or you can even just take your left leg straight, or take your left heel in front of your right shin, and let the left knee drop open. So now we're even getting into external rotation of the left hip. Or some of you might want to take your left foot onto your right thigh and let the left knee drop open. Then if you want, you can reach your arms overhead. You can take them wide. Hold on to your elbows. Chest stays lifted. Flex your feet, especially if you're in a double pigeon. You don't need to, if you're in, I guess even Sukhasana, but definitely double pigeon if your left heel's on your leg. Flex your feet. Lift the chest. All right, let's come up. Knees come up, and we're going to switch sides. Left knee will drop over, the left foot tucks behind the right heel. Check in. This might be good. Stay here. Maybe take your heel in front of your right heel in front of your left shin. Or maybe take your right heel on top of your left thigh. And if you want to add on, you can reach your arms overhead. You can hold on to your opposite elbows. Well, if it's not one, it's the other. Lily's the one that's pretty vocal today. One more breath. And then uncross, bring both knees up. You can hug your knees into your chest, maybe rock side to side. Just kind of move your knees around, maybe take a happy baby. And then we're gonna roll over to one side. Come up to our hands and knees. So for today, we're going to, let's see. Okay, let's take a, child's pose for right now. Take your knees wide, bring your toes together, and then take your tailbone back towards your heels. You can always put a blanket back there between your thighs and your calves. And then you can put a block underneath your forehead, or if your forehead touches the mat, bring your forehead on your mat. Tense your fingertips and press into the mat. So feel the spine growing a little bit longer. And then slide your hands back under your shoulders, come onto your hands and knees. Let's take a cat-cow. Take your tailbone toward the knees, push the floor away from you. Tuck your chin into your chest, look up at your navel, round your back. Now inhale, turn your tailbone up. Broaden across your collarbones and maybe look up or just look down. Just kind of go where your neck is comfortable. And let's come back to cat pose. Round your back. Come into cow, inhale. One more time. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. But stay here. Keep your tailbone turning up. Turn the toes under. And then lift into downward facing dog with your knees bent. Keep your heels up. Wiggle your chest to your thighs. And then take your tailbone higher. Look at your knees. Your neck stays long. Engage your arms. And then press through one heel. Bend the opposite knee. Pedal your feet a few times. And then slowly walk your feet and your hands toward each other. Stay here for a few breaths in this forward bend. So let the crown of your head fall heavy. Keep your knees bent as much as you need to, especially if you've got some pain in the low back, some active pain. Keep your knees bent. If you're feeling it, your hamstrings kind of feel good, you can straighten your legs a little bit more. Let's hold on to our opposite elbows. Let the crown of the head fall heavy. Relax your jaw. Take a breath in. And take a big loud breath out. You can even let your arms dangle. Let's do that 2 more times. Breath in. Breath out. Let that go. Let everything go. If you're still holding on to anything, let's do it one more time. Big breath in. Big loud breath out. Weight of the world. Releasing from our shoulders. Take your arms back by your hips. Come all the way up. Into Tadasana. All right. And just stand in Tadasana for a couple breaths before we start our standing poses, just to check in. Feet are hip distance. Let's root down through the soles of our feet as we draw up from the bottom up. So let's draw our kneecaps into our thighs, our thigh bones, toward our hips, our belly button toward our chin, shoulders back and down, crown of the head toward the sky. And imagine that there's a block. Sometimes we do it with a block. So imagine we've got a block between our inner thighs and we're taking the inner thighs into that block. So we're still working on that internal rotation. And then just release. All right, so we're going to take some blocks or a chair, if you have a chair. I'm going to demonstrate, well, Lily's on my chair, but I'm going to use it anyway. All right, so if we have a chair, we're going to do downward facing dog in a chair. So right now, we just be hip distance, we come forward, step back, into down dog. So here's option 1. Option 2, it would be with blocks. So it's just done this way, we can get our heels down. It's almost a little bit more like Ardha Uttanasana, but wherever you can go with this, with blocks or a chair or your couch. And just hold it here for a couple breaths. Lift the chest. Luckily, I don't think we're using the chair too much. Right, Lil? And then walk closer to the chair. Come back to Tadasana. All right. So we're going to do some variations of Warrior 1. And if you have a wall nearby, it can be a low wall. You can come to your wall. Otherwise, just you can use a blanket. We are going to go to a blanket shortly. But let's start with the wall if you have it. I'll demonstrate and then we'll move on. So let's take the left heel back and it's going to go up the wall. And then we're going to take the right leg forward. And right now the right leg will stay straight. We're going to square off the hips. And then find your balance like I need to. Okay. Square off the hips. And then reach your arms up. So right now the front leg is straight. And then we're gonna bend the knee and just go where you can go. When you start getting that stretch in the front of the leg. Okay, lift the chest, shoulders float down. So if you don't have a wall, we're gonna do this again a little bit on a blanket, but you can just start with your heel on the blanket, same thing. So we're still gonna get there. I can't tell if everyone has a wall. All right, so now we're here in warrior one. Front knee's bent. Then we're gonna just bend the left knee slightly and then straighten it. We're gonna do that again. Bend the left knee and straighten. It's a very subtle movement. We're just bending and straightening. 2 more times. If you feel unbalanced with your arms overhead, take your hands on your knees. Bend and straighten. And then carefully step your feet together. And then we'll switch sides. Now the right heel will come up the wall. Left leg is out in front and straight to start. Hands on our hips. Square off your hips. And then bend your left knee. And again, just go where you can go to get the stretch in that front quad. The back quad. Belly button draws up toward the chin. And if you want, you can bring your arms overhead. Bend the right knee slightly and straighten. We're gonna do it 5 times. So bend and straighten. And straighten. I lost count, I think 2 more. Bend, straighten. 1 more. And then hands can come on your hips. Step your feet together. All right. So now we're going to take our now we're gonna take our leg up the wall. So there's a couple options with this as well. If you probably need a blanket. I'm gonna plug this thing. You need a blanket or something to cushion your knee. So we've done this before. There's a couple options. Let me demonstrate this, and then I'll show you what the other options are. So we'll be on our hands and knees, and let's take the left knee up the wall. So the top of your left foot's touching the wall. And then you'll come into a lunge. So the right foot will come forward. And then you can bring your hands up onto your right knee. Or you can have some blocks here, all right? Some of you might be able to take your arms up overhead, going deep into this quad. If you're not at a wall, you can use a chair. I would still pad my knee here. Lily might not like this. Let's see, I'm gonna take my left foot up on the chair. So my left knee is supported. I'm gonna come back into the lunge here. Arms up and overhead. Or you can just come into a lunge, right? You can just come into a lunge here and take your tailbone forward. So let's do it together. If you're not already there, I'm gonna do it at the wall. So make sure the knee's padded. And then we'll take the right foot forward. So the left knee goes toward the wall, left foot comes up. We bring our hands up. And then kind of check in, okay? There's a lot of stretching going on in this front quadricep, this left quadricep. Maybe you can reach maybe just one arm up. Kind of play around with that. It's just, again, adding on to the upper extension. I'm gonna come and check on you guys. Otherwise, you're in a lunge or, yeah, good. You've got the chair or the couch. And if your back hurts when you do this, that is a message that we do need to open up the front of our body more. So just kind of notice what's going on. All right, go ahead and come on out. You can just come onto your hands and knees. And then we'll set up for the other side. So yeah, lots of options to open up the quads, the front body. And you might again notice one side a little bit more open than the other. The low belly draws in and up. Maybe reach your arms up. Maybe just one arm. Or just keep your hands. Again, this is one of those poses that if we did it a lot, clearly I need to do this more because my quads are tight here. We'll start to notice a big difference, but it's supported and there's lots of options. So hopefully everybody's getting the benefit of the pose. And really what it is stretching the right quadricep. Couple more breaths. And then carefully come back down onto your hands and knees, and you can take child's pose or stretch out your legs, or both. Stretch out your legs and then take a child's pose and just stretch everything out. All right, come on back up onto your hands and knees. And if you have a blanket or a pillow, we'll have it at the edge of our mat. And then we're going to come back up from our hands and knees, come back up into down dog. And you can even have your heels on the blanket right now. That will feel nice. Maybe even press one hip back and then the other. Stretch everything out. And then walk your hands and feet toward each other. Come all the way up. Okay, so like we did at the wall, and if you did it with a blanket, we're repeating that. We'll take the left heel back onto the blanket, and then we'll take the right leg forward. And right now it'll be straight, just like we started with the others. And we're going to square off our hips, keep the chest lifted, and then bend into the front knee. So again, right, a lot of work in the front body, right? We're opening up the front body, bend the front knee. And just go where you can go here. Really press down into your blanket, and then maybe extend your arms up and into your front knee. Low belly draws in and up. With the internal rotation here, the internal rotation of the left leg. One more breath. You take your hands on your hips, step your feet together. Breath here. And then we'll do the other side. So now the right heel, come back onto the blanket. We'll step the left leg forward. Right now it's straight. Square off our hips, lift the chest. And when you're ready, go ahead, bend into your left knee until you get the stretch into the front leg. So we just opened them up a little bit more. So maybe we can go into warrior one a little deeper, bending that front knee, low belly toward the chin. Arms reach up and overhead. Shoulders back and down. And maybe bend into your knee a little bit more. One more breath. Hands come down. Step your feet together. Come back to Tadasana. Check in. Just notice how your legs feel. A lot of activity in the legs today. So from Tadasana, we're going to go lengthwise and step our feet wide apart. So you can have a block in front. We're going to take our hands on our hips, squeeze the shoulder blades together, Inhale, and as you exhale, keep the chest lifted. So your torso is parallel to the floor, and then bring your hands down, maybe on your block. Some of you might be able to bring them onto the mat, but keep the chest lifted. Draw the shoulders away from your ears. Draw the kneecaps into the thighs. Rooting down through both feet. So you can stay here, or maybe you can start to go a little bit farther and slide your hands in line with your feet. So the crown of your head might come parallel to the floor. It might even rest on your block. Or some of you might be able to get your head on your mat. Doesn't really matter. We're spreading our fingers wide and we're hugging our elbows into an imaginary ball. Squeeze the elbows together. What's going on with the legs? Draw the kneecaps up toward the thighs. Now maybe the weight is a little bit more in the front of your feet, right? You're gonna feel a little bit more, you don't want it kind of back toward the heels, so you're falling backwards. So that's where we support the head. Hug into that imaginary ball with your elbows. Engage the legs. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Heel toe your feet in. Bring your hands behind you and then come up. And step your feet together back into Tadasana. Take a breath here. Take a big inhale, reach your arms up. Let's take our elbows out in line with our shoulders and then down toward the ribs. Open up through the chest. Inhale, reach your arms up. Take a forward bend. And we're gonna step back to down dog. Heels on or off your blanket. If it's right there, go ahead. It's kind of nice to have them on the blanket. Pedal your feet, wiggle your hips. And then we'll make our way onto our hands and knees. And then have a seat. So let's get our strap again. We're gonna lower onto our backs. We're gonna take the strap around the heels but both legs are up this time. So just like we were in Dandasana a little earlier, flexing through the heels, drawing the toes toward our shins. Press through the heels, lift the chest. So low back release. Now, we're gonna take our feet wide on the strap. Go where you can go here. We're pulling down on the strap, pressing into the strap. Lift the chest. More breaths. Lift the chest. Low belly draws in and up. Flex your feet. And then carefully just bring the legs in, remove your strap. Let's cross the right knee over the left. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Flex your feet. And maybe take your hands down by your ankles, to your ankles. Hug the knees in. Flex your feet. And then take your knees over to the left. So we were doing this sitting on our sit bones earlier, right? Notice the difference, right? It's much more accessible on our backs. Lots of options. You don't have to hold on to your ankles. Let's uncross, we'll switch sides. Left knee over the right, hug the knees in. Just stay here. Or if that feels super easy, then you can take your hands to your ankles. Pull the legs apart, flex your feet, and we'll take the knees over to the right. And bring the knees back in, uncross. We'll cross our right ankle over our left knee. Left foot can stay on the mat, or you can bring it up and we'll clasp behind the left thigh. Flex both feet. If your foot's off the floor, we're going to draw the left knee in, gently press away with the right elbow. And you can go over to the left a little bit more if you want to deepen that sensation in the right glute, piriformis. Bring the legs up, uncross, right foot on your mat, left ankle over your knee, or you can lift your right foot off and clasp behind your right thigh. Draw that right knee in. Press away with the left elbow. And if you want, you can take your knees slightly over to the right. And then bring the knees up, uncross. Take our arms out to the side. Take your hips over to the right. Take your right knee over your left. Or not. You don't have to cross if you don't want. We're just going to go into our last twist. You can take your knees over to the left with the knees crossed or uncrossed. Lift the left shoulder up to get the right shoulder down. And you can just look straight up at the ceiling. You don't have to turn your head. Whatever feels good for you right now. We're just cooling down. Bring your knees up, uncross. Scoot the hips over to the left. And then take your knees over to the right. Cross, maybe cross the left over the right. And then bring your knees back up. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe take your forehead to your knees. Give yourself a big hug. And let's find Shavasana. So get comfy. Maybe put a sweater back on or some socks or have a blanket to cover yourself with. And then all of the options that are always available, maybe a blanket under your knees. If you have active back pain, it's kind of nice to bend your knees and put your knees together. Yep, so maybe take your knees up onto your couch or your chair. Or just traditional Shavasana with your legs straight, covered up with a blanket. Once you're settled in, scan your body. Just checking to see if there's anything you're still holding on to. Send your breath to those places. Just kind of send your breath and see if you can release a little bit. Relax your fingers, relax your toes. Let go of just any gripping in your jaw. And then just let everything go completely. Your entire body melts into the earth beneath you for these last few moments of your practice, the most important part of your practice, just letting go completely. I'll ring the chimes 3 times when it's time to come back out. So just let go. Begin to awaken your body. Start to bring movement into your fingers and your toes. Start to deepen your breath. Maybe even get a big yawn. Stretch your arms overhead. And when you're ready, make your way over to one side. Just stay there for a breath. Just let your head rest onto your arms. And then at your own pace, come up to a comfortable seated position. And you can stay here with your eyes closed. Just kind of notice how you're feeling at the end of your practice. When we checked in a little earlier, so notice the difference. Your body, your mind, and even your spirit. Maybe feeling a little more peaceful, just a little more open, even just a little lighter. Let's take our hands to our heart center. And so our metta moment today is to forgive all transgressions that occur today. Just for today, you don't have to do it all week. So we don't take anything personally that anyone does. It's a Saturday, so we may not run into as many people as we might during the week. But just give it a try. Usually it doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing. We don't know what's in their head. So let's just try to forgive any transgressions that occur today, this afternoon. If any, you may not even experience it. Thank you so much for joining me on this rainy morning in San Diego. I wish you much peace and happiness. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. This held up. Oh, geez, it's only at 26% though. I'm going to stop recording.